Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There we go again. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How about that?
Hello.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Big Ace.
Good to see you, man.
Mass Comedian X here. First of all, if you haven't done so already, please give us a subscribe. We appreciate that very, very much. And you can also support us by going to find us on Patreon. And you'll get some cool extras. Well, my friend, as our graphic said, live almost every Tuesday.
Yeah, special Monday edition.
Well, the special Monday edition actually worked out very well, didn't it? Because we'll be able to talk about the Raw reunion, but also the reason we have to do it is that you're getting ready to go down to the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, which is going to be fantastic as well. So we're happy to do it early, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's going to be a good trip. I leave Thursday, and I'll have a lot of cool stuff to bring back and talk about, and some video and some other stuff, hopefully. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And me and my friend Wes Briscoe, are going to be doing a live version of our podcast at the
His father, by the way, a 24/7 champion.
That was probably just because of the personal ties. That was Pop of the Night, and then at the end of the night with the Stone Cold Cheers. Because if you've ever been around Jerry, that is him. Where he's like, "I'm going to the beer.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna get my cheers in with everybody so they can see it." You know what I mean? Like he's such a great guy, and which is awesome because I'll see him on Thursday. He'll probably be one of the first people I'll run into.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so Wes and I though we're doing that live podcast Saturday noon at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, for the Hall of Fame weekend. It's still not 100% confirmed, but we think it's happening. Beth Phoenix should be our guest.
So. Yeah, that'll be awesome. So, and we'll, if you can give us a link to where you're going to be doing that, why we'll be happy to share that along on this program. So let's just go down and run down. We'll go through the whole show and basically, give our thoughts on the whole thing. The opening with Cena, I don't know. I mean, that's good energy. People like him. I wasn't sure about the Usos. See, this will be a theme throughout this. I don't know. I mean, it's almost like some of the people they're portraying as faces are heels. I mean, and I get very confused by it because, I'm kind of old school.
Right.
So they goad him into doing some rhymes. The one he did was awesome because it slapped him right back in the face. I love that.
Right.
And then Rikishi comes out, which is nice. And so here's kind of, I mean, at this point, as the show's starting, I'm thinking, oh, well, what's going to happen? And then the Revival comes out with Devon. And honestly, I don't know why he came out with them. I mean, there's no tie, is there?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it was just you're trying to fit people in. You know what I mean?
I understand, and that's. I mean, I get it. But at that point in the show, I didn't understand that, and so that's why I just wrote everything down.
Well, and the more weird part about that would be that. Well, I guess not weird. I guess in my mind, I made logic of why Bully Ray or Bubba Ray wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I think other people were probably thrown off by that he wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, I was listening to him on Busted Open. He was down in Tampa.
Yeah, I think maybe his little incident in ROH a few months back that ended up coming out in the light, I think is what maybe.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things like, do they want to put him on TV after he just got, called out for taking a fan backstage and basically like threatening him?
Lambasting.
Like, Well, who knows? I don't know. That could definitely not be it either, but.
Yeah. So he's
worked with AEW.
Yeah. AEW and, it wasn't AEW at the time. I mean, that was a ROH.
Right.
It was kind of a but anyway, point being, he wasn't there. Devon was there, so I mean, clearly he was missed. So going into the first break, Hogan and Jimmy Hart have a little cameo, just sort of babble. I love Jimmy Hart.
What they do best. What do you expect?
For no point, brother. Anyway.
Right. Well, and the good thing about it is anytime Hogan gets to talk, you know something's going to get fumbled as far as what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
And it happened every time he was on the mic tonight. Every time.
I mean, age is not treating him well as far as speaking, is it?
No, not at all. He's losing his mind too. Like, it's just,
my gosh. Yeah. Well, anyway, so and as they're getting ready to start the match, then Booker T comes out to join the commentary crew, which was nice.
I did enjoy that aspect of this Raw reunion of bringing in people who were on commentary at one point and letting them do a match. Because I wish they would have did that longer ago. You know, like I know they did because they did what it was. Gene Okerlund and Bobby Heenan did that gimmick match at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, the character match. Yeah,
yeah. But it'd be cool to see some of that. I mean, and they did it with Jim Ross and Jerry all the time. But I wish they would have did it more with people like Bobby and Gorilla and those guys.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I'd love to see Jesse and Vince do it once.
Oh my gosh, that'd be a throwback. But do you think that, and we're getting away from this a little bit, but do you think that Vince and Jesse get along even anymore?
Who knows? But it's like
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, but like the $1 Million Man says, everybody's got a price, and let's be honest, time has not been kind to Jesse Ventura.
That's true.
He's going crazy.
That's true. So, all right. So in the match, the Usos win with a little bit of a, I don't know what kind of finish you'd like to call that. It was not really interference, but it was not really clean. I felt like whatever they were talking, whatever was getting yammered about on the outside of the ring, kind of went a little long. You know, but whatever. They ended up having time. So the Usos win, and that was, you know, there were the normal spots that you would expect in a match between the Usos and a Revival. So that was fine as far as I was concerned.
One thing I'm wondering is how many people were disappointed that there was no Sting face at all.
Yeah. I mean, everybody else seemed to kind of do their signature from Monday night. Well, and we'll get down the road to it here in a minute because there's some other things that I just thought, what? So then we have Alicia Fox, Tori Wilson, Santino monkeying around, and then McIntyre comes by and shuts him down. And I saw your post on Facebook or on Twitter that he is a boner killer. And
I mean, Santino was having a very good moment and just killed it.
Oh yeah,
you know, but yeah.
See, so here's the way I look at it now. So as we move forward, here's McIntyre, and as a heel, he does exactly what he's supposed to do, right? And he, in my mind, he's 100% black-hearted heel. All right. But then as we go along and start moving, it's like some of these guys, I don't know if they're supposed to be heels or if they're supposed to be faces or if they're supposed to be in a gray area somewhere. And I just don't get it. Anyway, so we move on, and R-Truth loses the 24/7 belt to Maverick. And I gotta say, I'm like, is Maverick's wife helping him now? Because if she is, it's awesome.
Right.
You know, but I go back to what we were talking about last week. It's got to be more than just Truth and Maverick doing it. And of course, over the course of the show, it was, but I'm talking about every week. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, you know, and then next we have a cameo by the Godfather, and you got to love the Godfather. You know, I got to say this because this is one of my pet peeves. It was ruined by that in and out camera shot. I hate that camera shot. That ruins everything for me. I don't know if young little kids like that, but it bugs the hell out of me. Always, every single time they do it. And I know it's supposed to, you know, be cool or show chaos or whatever, but that bothers me. All right.
Yeah, I can't handle it, especially in the ring. I'm trying to keep up with it. Trying to keep up with the action as is. When you do that, then I'm just like, I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we have that, and then the McIntyre Cedric Alexander match. Gosh, I got to tell you, man, I really sort of wanted to see more of that match.
But we couldn't because he murdered Cedric
Alexander
tonight.
But initially, when Alexander was giving him a little back, right? It's like there's such a contrast in styles. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good pairing because it's just complete opposites that can work together. So it's a good little rivalry they have going on. Those will be great matches.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. And Cedric Alexander is fantastic too.
But holy crap, did he kill him tonight?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what can I say? All right, so we'll move along, and then Maverick gets accosted by the Boogeyman.
I don't know why the Boogeyman didn't get the pin and L in that.
Oh, because he had a mouthful of worms. I mean, come on, he doesn't need a belt. He's got worms.
I can eat and do things at the same time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe it's something else. And then we start with the what I would term cameo championships. And Pat Patterson beats Maverick by kicking him a couple times and putting his foot on. I just laughed my ass off because I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But what can you do? It was perfect. And off he goes. And then the next match we got, Christian joins the commentary. And that was a little different because Christian really we're not used to him doing commentary. Oh yeah, that's true. That was last week. I don't know. I just I love Cedric. I'm always wondering. I'm just always wondering what they think when they're doing the booking.
He's one of those guys that gets lost in the shuffle with that whole group. I think from NXT kind of did, like him, Apollo Crews, Dana Brooke. I'm sure there's more. Well, half of the 205 Live crew. I mean, they all just, I don't know. They all just kind of got lost in the shuffle. It was super weird. Cedric Alexander got inserted in this way.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like you said, we're going to get matches. We're going to get good matches with him and McIntyre. So that's the plus out of this. But yeah, it is kind of like, what's the end game for him? Just he was just onto another meaningless thing. He was helping one of the top names for a minute, and now that's over.
I got it. Anyway, okay, so we move on. Here's Lillian Garcia. Always love Lillian. Can't help it. And then the Viking Raiders. See, they've had the name change so many times I can't even say it. Viking Raiders beat Ryder and Hawkins. Kind of a meh match as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch, though. Again, I don't know what their name is anymore. I just call them War Raiders still, so whatever. But I mean, it's always fun to watch those guys. Plus, it's nice to see them finally get back on TV. But there was. I mean, poor Hawkins and Ryder, man. Those guys, like, they just kind of get. I mean, they had that big moment at Mania, but now it's just kind of like, all right, you had your moment. We're done with you now. Kind of like they did with Ryder when he had his Intercontinental moment at Dallas at 32. So. Hey, at least they have a really fun, YouTube show to watch about toys.
Well, that's all you need.
It's a lot of fun.
We'll be watching that afterwards. All right, so then we have Mike and Maria Kanellis, Eve and Eric Bischoff, and I got to tell you, I love what they're doing with Maria Kanellis. I just love her like that, and he just plays such a henpecked cuck so well. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like who's going to be, because there's going to be someone inserted in this that gets him to go nuts on her finally or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering who they're going to pick to be that person. That's what I'm curious about right now. But yeah, because it's just I hadn't actually seen that a lot of the stuff with them lately till tonight. God.
It's so fantastic.
Like I knew that they were doing this thing with her, but I hadn't seen it till tonight, and I was like, "Geez!"
Oh yeah, she is.
And then it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
I'm a model. Like you are.
All right, and then of course, We get our damn at the end of that, which there's a signature move.
Yeah, hey, and big up to Ron Simmons. He made a Burger King commercial that you might have seen tonight during that Raw reunion.
He did?
Yeah, did you not see the Burger King commercial with Alexa Bliss being the queen, looking for her suitor, and a bunch of guys? She knocks them out of the way, like, no. And then the king, Burger King, comes in, gives her a Whopper, and she's into it. And they end it with him being like a jester, being like, damn.
Oh my gosh. So here's I got to tell you. So here's how I watch on DirecTV now.
Okay.
And so I know there's a chunk where I get their commercials as opposed to what's on the USA Network.
Okay.
So they might have not showed it on there.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, then we get AJ and they're the OC. And yeah, those shirts are freaking cool.
They did a good job on that. Like, it's crazy to see all this stuff starting to happen now ever since, I mean, let's be honest, AEW. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden now they're going to acknowledge like their old, because that looks like a shirt they would have had in the Bullet Club.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And even has the Japanese writing on it, which I know they've kind of been doing since they came, but like now they're pushing it into our faces. So, but it's sick, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, then Pat Patterson loses in a kind of, I would say that's a dark match, because we didn't really see it happen, but we sort of heard it, which obviously those guys are old. You're not going to see him laying on the floor, but he loses to our boy Jerry Briscoe. Fantastic. And then Kelly gives him an old down below shot and steals the title from him.
It was funny because I liked how they opened the segment. Like, yeah, it would have been interesting to see if they like him like shaking hands or hugging him, like, oh yeah, you did it, and do it. But or if they just did like last time when he was sleeping and he did it. Like, that would have been funny too. But I like how they started that segment with him being like, you stooge, just to make sure if you didn't know who those guys were, now you know. And then, it was fun to watch Jerry on there again. I've gotten to know him decently, and obviously his son's one of my close friends. So it was fun to watch him on there. And Wes actually called me like right after it happened, because he's like, dude, my satellite's out. We have like a really bad storm going on. I can't even watch right now.
Oh my God.
So I was like, yeah, well, your dad was just on and won the 24/7, and he was pretty geeked out about it. And then I was like, yeah, and then he got to get covered by Kelly. It was a win-win.
Which is it's almost as good as winning the title, right?
My book. I met her once. I got to touch her once. Not creepy, everybody. Like, she touched me, and it was like, oh.
I don't think any way you touch anybody wouldn't be creepy, buddy. Anyway,
yeah, you're right.
That's how it goes. All right. So then we have Joe coming out, and I last week we talked about favorite wrestlers. Man, I got to tell you, Joe is becoming like my favorite. Now he doesn't win. They always have him losing, but it's like he doesn't need to win, because he is just so good with the promos and so ominous looking. And then Roman comes out, interrupts him, and you get the Island feud, as you may say. And honestly, I felt like that was a great match to start the second hour.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a big Samoa Joe guy too, man. That guy's just a talent. I'm on board for anything he does. And I like that he broke up a lot of the funny haha and good feeling moments we were getting before that. Like, that brought it back down to like, oh, hey, God, this is still Monday Night Raw. It's not just the Raw reunion.
Yeah.
So that was a nice touch. I mean, everybody's got, so many people are on the fence about Roman Reigns, and I was one of those people. Like, I wasn't, but the thing is, I never said he wasn't talented. Yeah. There were other people that I thought were more talented and were deserving of what the push he was getting in at those times. He's still a talented guy, and he proves that. So, like, it is fun to watch him go down with Samoa Joe. So that was cool.
Absolutely. All right, then we get Miz TV, and he brings out Seth. And I got to tell you, man, I'm just not a fan of hey, here's what happened last week kind of stuff, or here's what happened. I mean, I know why they do it, but as somebody that watches on a regular basis, I don't like it. because it's like, to me, it's a waste of time. I watched all of that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I get why they do it, though, because if somebody hasn't been watching on the regular, now they're going to catch up. They're going to be interested now. And I get it. But again, we go to this whole thing where, man, I don't know if Seth is a heel or a face. I don't know. I mean, it's like he started, when he started off, I thought, oh yeah, he's talking, he's saying how Brock is this and Brock is that. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And then he just switches gears and I'm like, well, now you kind of come off like a douche. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know.
I know I'm in the boat of, I'm kind of tired of Seth Rollins. I always thought he was a really, really great talent and everything. He's awesome in the ring. He's awesome on the mic and everything. It just wasn't somebody that I necessarily was gravitating towards. Like, this is one of the guys I'm really into. Like, I'm a fan, all that stuff. You know what I mean? He just wasn't that guy for me. I know a lot of people think he's amazing, probably one of the best. And I'm sure that he can, argue that himself because he is very well good. But it's like, it gets boring sometimes. So I kind of don't listen completely on it. Like, I didn't really pay too much attention to any of that until everybody came out at the end.
Yeah, no, I get it. And then of course Heyman came out. I thought Heyman was hilarious running away from him. I mean, God, that was one of the funniest things of the night to me. Him running off.
You can't beat a Heyman segment.
Oh well, and if he's in charge of the show now, I don't know. I don't see him inserting himself that much, but when he does, I think it's going to be worth it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then we get Sami Zayn doing a pretty good promo. And I got to say, I think the writers are doing a really good job of making the heels use the criticisms as their talking points. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me, because in my mind, it's like there's going to be a lot of the guys that are going, oh yeah, that's exactly in there. So they're going to get on board the heels, and I get it. It makes perfect sense to me. And they did it with Joe, and they did it with Sammy, and I thought it was a really good job. Then we have Candice Michelle winning the 24/7 title, who promptly loses to, and people say Alundra. She's always Medusa Michelli to me.
Yeah, Medusa.
Always, because I came from watching in the Minneapolis area AWA, and she was always Medusa Michelli. And I got to tell you that I don't know if you noticed. I got a little picture here. That woman, look at the guns on her. Look at the arms on that woman, dude.
Well, you know what she does now, right?
Well, yeah, but she's 55 years old, man.
You got to have guns like that to drive a monster truck, though.
All I'm saying is it's very impressive. And
I just wish she'd do. My gripe with her when she comes back is you can tell she has no clue what's going on. She doesn't pay attention to the storylines or the product at all. So when she comes in, it's like I'm the 24 champion. Yeah. Like, huh? And I just wish she would at least brush up, or someone would fill her in, because she did that once with JBL one time on a kickoff show, made her look like a fool.
Yeah.
A fool, because she didn't know nothing about the women's division. And this is I think it might have been even the Evolution kickoff.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe.
Oh,
was she on that? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. You be stinky. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. They do know well to work the heels. They typically don't let the heels go as far as they should, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. And I think part of that is, I think they struggle not only with the baby faces, but I think they struggle with the perception of what a baby face should be over generations, if that makes sense. I'm an old dude, so I like it black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard for me to watch and have them, making these comments that a heel would make.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I started watching, in the mid 80s, late 80s, is when I started getting into professional wrestling. Like, I think the first thing I could remember was it had to have been either WrestleMania 2 or 3 that I remember watching with my dad and grandpa. And that's when I was hooked, just because it was just like, what is this? But yeah, it was so just like, here's your good guy, here's your bad guy, go.
Yeah.
And I think where they're at right now, what I'm noticing a lot in the product, because it kind of happened with Becky, it seems like they're trying to make it maybe with Seth right now. Obviously, they're doing it with KO right now, but I feel like they're just looking for the next Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Like
maybe.
the good guy, but could be a dick,
Oops, sorry. I think what happens is that they get somebody and something starts happening organically. And instead of just letting it go its natural course, they got to get their hands on it and start fiddling with it. I mean, you know how convoluted Becky's run to WrestleMania was. It was just confusing as hell.
Yeah.
And they didn't clean up any of it. Asuka is one of my favorites. Absolute one of my favorites. She made her tap out, and then to reward her, not only does she get to hold on to the belt for a while, but she gets to stay the hell off TV because they don't want to remind anybody that Becky tapped out to her.
Right.
But it's not so much the wrestlers, it's not so much the writing per se, but there's just a huge lack in continuity in my mind.
Well, it's the scramble for things aren't working, and now there's new people in town. What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah. But it was like that before,
Yeah, but now it's like getting real noticeable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like even tonight, there were things that happened throughout that Raw reunion that it's like, yeah, good moments. Oh, that was a direct shot at AEW. Good moments, good Oh, there's another direct shot at AEW. And
well, I'll tell you. Do you happen to watch Being the Elite today?
Yeah.
Right away, first thing, it's a gigantic shot at WWE.
What was it again?
It was the guy. It was the librarian going in and complaining about being the librarian, and the guy says, "But it's good shit."
Right.
Going through, and yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sammy was a perfect baby face. And honest to gosh, when he was in what was it, Montreal, that he was getting everybody fired up, and I thought, holy cow, they're going to let him do it, and then they didn't.
The mistake they made with him is they never let him and Owens like really, really work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like they held those two back a lot during their feud together, where if you watch any of their matches as Steen and El Generico and ROH and anything else, amazing match. Yeah. Amazing. Like 5-star matches almost, if not 5-star matches. And then like the WWE feud they had was just like, yeah, this is good, but like when's it gonna get really good? And it just never did.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Sammy, then we move on to Sammy and Rey Mysterio. And I mean, it's okay. And then we get the cavalry of RVD, Smokeable, Sergeant Slaughter, Hurricane Helms, and Kurt Angle. And then Ray wins, but in sort of hokey fashion. But I mean, you got those guys. It's just to let those guys come down, and I get it.
Right.
I'm not going to complain about it. And that's overall, as this show progressed, I started caring less about the stuff that was going on that would be week to week, and more thinking about, how are they going to put this guy in, or how are they going to put that guy in? And whatever. Rey Mysterio is a legend anyway. Then we have, before the break, we have Ric Flair, who was always awesome, come in, and I'm thinking to myself, he's the man, but are they out of limos? Because it seemed like he drove up. Now, this is a different looking picture to me, but when he first drove up, I thought, is that like a stretch minivan?
Yeah, it did look like that, didn't it? The back end.
Yeah, and I just thought, what the hell is this? Now, the funny part about it is they used the same thing later on for the 24/7 belt.
Right, they did.
And so it looked a little bit different from that angle as well. Looked more like it's one of those crummy looking Cadillacs.
Dude, that by the way, that suit Ric Flair was rocking was pretty excellent.
Oh, let me get back up again here. Yeah,
that's a pretty slick suit right there. Like that's a guy that you want to party with right there.
That's some sharp business. I mean, but he always. I mean, that's his trademark, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how it was. Again, he's the guy that they always say like the gimmick just got blurred.
Yeah,
he is who he is now, and it is. But the thing with that is, and at the end, when they did the big cheer, he drank a beer.
Yeah,
I don't know 100% right, but like, didn't like alcohol almost kill him?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's going to be on the Jericho cruise.
Oh my God.
They announced him as like the guest of honor for the Jericho cruise. And I'm like, you're going to put this man on a boat for 4 days with just unlimited booze? He almost died like 2 years ago. Like,
oh my God.
He's in and out having like surgeries and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't seem safe, guys. Like, are we trying to hurry up the process or what? Like, chill it out.
I mean, like I feel like with a lot of old guys, he's that age. Let him live how he wants to live. He's got this far.
And you're exactly right. Like, I'm not even that mad about it because I get to meet Ric Flair on the Chris Jericho cruise. So.
Dang it, that's right. See, you're going to do all this stuff, and I don't make any money because I'm a mass comedian.
Someone's got to do it. Someone has to take that role, and you're killing it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, make sure he has the soda only package. Do they have one of those on the cruise?
They do, but I mean,
oh my God.
See, like even if that was the case, and it's like, hey guys, like he can only have soda, but like there's just so many people on that boat that someone's gonna be like, here's a shot.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna drink with Ric Flair because God dang it, he's Ric Flair.
Like,
here, Rick, what are you drinking? You want some Grey Goose?
Like, I feel like if I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Do you need some water, bro? You okay? Like, how you feeling?
Hydrated, buddy.
Do you want to get out of the sun for a little bit? Like, come on, I'll hold you. It's okay. Come on. You know what I mean? That's my And by the way, that totally sounded like Harry Carey was hanging out with Ric Flair.
You never know, man. You never jawbreakers. There you go. There you go.
Heck yeah.
I'm glad you're here with us, Stinky.
Hell yes.
We appreciate it a lot, man. All right. So then after we come back from break, we get another segment with the Street Profits, and holy cow, are those guys just so entertaining?
That was a great segment.
Every week those guys get better and entertain me more. And the beautiful thing about it is they haven't even touched the ring yet.
Right. I know.
Love that. I so love that. That's the way they should be doing it with these people.
Yeah, but the fear is they haven't touched the ring yet. So like when they do, watch them get squashed right away. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen because they're super over. And after tonight, they're like really over because they were already over with the fans, like then the kids and all that, because it's like they're loud and then they're funny and they're saying cool stuff. But then it's like they got that alternative crowd tonight on their side.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then we go right away into Medusa. She's threatening. I mean, Alundra threatening to put the 24/7 belt in a garbage can. I don't have a photo of the garbage can, but you got to agree that was one of the crappiest looking garbage cans I've ever seen. They chipped on the garbage can.
It was the same size as the belt. Like it should be bigger than the belt.
Yeah, it looked like the belt wouldn't fit in it. Anyway, and
that was just awkward too. Like I don't know if it was really necessary because no one else was in there like gimmicking it up backstage except for like.
You know what,
though? Boogeyman, the guys who like their whole thing was a gimmick, but like I don't know why they did that but it also made people pretty slow to get to the point when she said the whole I'm not going to be champ for long, and everybody's like, what?
But maybe here's the other part of the thing. Maybe the whole thing is that they asked her, "Do you want to do anything?" And she's like, "I don't know. What do you want me to do?" you know, because some of these guys like, you know, Ron Simmons, you want to say damn? Well, yeah, I want to say damn. You know, I mean, that's my thing. Anyway, and then DiBiase buys the belt from her, and I always have to laugh when he throws his head back. My favorite.
Struggle getting that money out for a second, though.
Yeah, I know. I thought I I didn't know what the hell he was going to do there.
You know, this is also interesting. Real quick, I just noticed because my TV's still on, but it's on mute. But like over there though. They really are making a big deal out of this Raw reunion because they don't normally play back Raw on USA, right?
Oh, they're playing it back.
Yeah, it's on now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the Uso revival match on right now.
Holy cow. Well, they want to milk it. I mean, I gotta, you know, and to be honest, I would think they had a really good rating number for this. Not that I give a crap about the ratings. You watch what you like, and that's it. But
for them, they needed this.
They need it. All right. So then we have the King come out for commentary, which I thought was cool. We've already talked about that. AJ versus Seth. Now, just as a point of redundancy for me, from a production standpoint, we have to watch Seth Rollins' intro twice during this show. Now, I don't know how you feel about it. I don't like it.
No, not at all.
You know, it's like he's going to be on the Miz show. And the reality is that it was less than an hour away from when they did it. And it's one of those little tiny things that bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah, like they should have just did that right after Miz TV. Like, why did we need to prolong it? Like, yeah.
Then we go back to the fact that, you know, we got to get all these other guys in. And so, okay, now I sort of, I mean, I like I said, I can be forgiving because this is kind of a special show. All right. So we have the match with Seth and AJ, and it's okay. Right.
Yeah. I mean, and then solid workers. It's going to be good.
Yeah. And then I'm 100% confused because DX comes out to back up Rollins. Now, first of all, I thought he and Triple H didn't like each other. But
didn't the Shield and DX do something together?
Man, I don't know.
Or have a moment once in the ring together.
They may have, but
I don't know. For me, what was weird about that was, like, I feel like Nash and Hall were kind of out of place with the fact that they were wearing the NWO shirts, and there was no mention of the NWO.
Yeah. It was an odd thing. And then here's the other thing that to be honest, that I also find odd. So here you got 7 old guys again, and 1 young guy against 3 young guys. Now, I don't like the fact that you got these old legends who have retired, but they can still come out and scare the hell out of you know, Styles and these other guys. God, my head's Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. You know, and they do this all the time with legends. The legends come back and ruin somebody for no real good reason because it doesn't forward anything.
Yeah. You know? Well, like you said, though, it's a gimmick show. It's just, they're not furthering any storylines on this thing tonight. It's just to make the pops and to get the ratings. And
I know.
I don't know. You know, and honestly, they might even reset a couple things after tonight going into SummerSlam right now. Like, if they were unhappy with anything, this was a good show to kind of maybe break that up and maybe start going somewhere else with it.
Cleanse the palate. All right. So then we get Maverick getting the 24/7 title back. Fantastic. That's awesome. Then we get Foley talking. Well, Foley interrupted by Wyatt using the mandible claw, which I thought was fantastic. But
I loved it, but they booed him.
I know. Because it's Foley.
I know, but like that, what are you guys doing? Like, he's so over. You have him do that to like kill his momentum now. Like, it was hard to get the people on his side after that.
They should have had him do it to the Boogeyman. Yeah, that would have been scary as hell.
Yeah.
Somebody so scary that he scared the boogeyman.
Yeah. My other question with this is like, we saw all these Playhouse vignettes. Now we're just getting this evil guy. Like, where does this all meet in the middle? Like, where do we see him do more of the Playhouse and then change into this thing? Like.
See, I would much rather see him wrestle as the Playhouse guy, as the Mr. Rogers guy, and then every once in a while, like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. I'd love that. That'd be fantastic to me.
Like how they do it with Finn and the Demon.
Yeah. Except even worse. Because he'd be Mr. Roberts kind of creepy guy, and then he'd be the Fiend, mean, evil, vicious. Anyway, and one thing I got to say this: the only time they advertised Mark Henry, the only time you saw Mark Henry was in the back saying hello to Foley.
Yeah,
I love Mark Henry. Mark Henry is not only one of my all-time favorite wrestlers and characters. Sexual Chocolate, how fantastic was that?
Right.
But he's also a fantastic human being.
Right.
Too. And I just am like, oh man, why didn't you let him do something?
Yeah, I think that's part of the whole, though. Like, he technically still works for WWE.
Yeah.
So it's not really like he's coming back. He's just coming back to TV, but he's still around. Yep. So I think that's probably why they didn't want to, they got other people who made the trip specifically for this. So they're probably like, let's give them more time. And it's Henry, you saw him at the end on the stage, just kind of like,
with his bottle of water, because he don't drink it all either.
Right.
All right. So then we move to the Alexa Bliss segment. And
which I'm going to say right now, anything that Alexa Bliss does, I'm just on board.
Yeah, she's good. But then then they take it out of her hands.
Yeah.
And again, I'll go back. Are they turning Becky heel? I mean, what are they just sort of doing a little bit of a dance so they can see, well, who's gonna root for Becky and who's gonna root for Natty? I don't.
Because
they're both.
I think both. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying they're both kind of just being a little bitchy.
I know, right? It's so funny because like 10 years ago when we were in radio together, we would know, like we could do this and we wouldn't talk over each other. You could tell we're getting back in it now. I love it. We're such radio nerds. I think what they're trying to do is, I think Natty's supposed to be the heel in this, but the problem with Natty is she's just never been really that great of a heel.
No,
she's just never believable with her.
Yeah, and I just don't think I don't think it's possible for her to do it. And so what you have now is you've got two characters that are kind of, mishy-moshy in the middle. And it's like, is it just a couple of mean girls fighting each other?
Well, and I feel like, too, that they might involve Alexa again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're going to use the title to somehow break apart this Alexa-Nikki Cross friendship.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think it's great. I love those two. And I love Nikki Cross. I loved her when she was in NXT. She's just great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let me get my list back up here so I can see it. And I wanted to say that segment when they were fighting, my favorite part of the whole thing is when Alexa and Nikki are stepping back with their coffee. I thought that was hilarious.
Yep.
That was so funny. And then Truth gets the title back. My gosh.
And he got himself a lady.
Yes. And I just, again, I'll go back to the whole thing. It comes around and it's Truth and Maverick again. And get somebody else involved. You got so many people doing nothing. Get somebody else involved.
I agree. I really do agree, but I like that tonight the wife got thrown in, and I like that they ended it with her in the limo with Truth, because now I'm actually a bit more interested in seeing these two have a little thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now I want to see Carmella and like her and Drake and R-Truth all get involved.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually, too, when is this going to end with him and Carmella? She's going to turn on him eventually. Yeah, and what the hell was that about? EC3 had a freaking power drill running down. That guy's the best. He just does not deserve the treatment he is getting right now. It's sad.
Talk about underused talent, man. Gosh dang it. All righty. And then round it out, we had a little segment I like to call Braun Kills a Local.
Yeah.
That was nice. It's about all I could say about it. I mean,
hey, at least some guy got to get on TV tonight.
Yeah, I mean that's but holy cow, man. That was they got some height on that shit.
Yeah, it makes me worried though. Like, is this just another situation of what do we do with Braun now?
Yeah,
like, they always kind of just seem like they never know what to do with him at the end of whatever he was just in. Which is stupid because he should be in the title picture. Like,
the reality is, if you have somebody like that and you don't, because he's not Andre the Giant. They can't make him Andre the Giant. There's only one.
Right.
He can't be John White Giant. It's already been done. And
was it Paul? Was it Paul?
Or Paul White. Yeah, you're right. John, I had to get Big John Studd. I get all confused.
Oh, Big John Studd. That guy was the shit.
Turtle Burger.
Did he get eliminated by the Fridge in that Royal Rumble?
Yeah. and as I recall, he got I think he got eliminated, and I think it was real.
Yeah, no, I remember for sure.
Fridge just shoved him right out.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So then we have the closing segment where we get Flair come out to his 2001 theme. Fantastic. And everybody else comes out. And then Hogan comes out and, does his Hogan business.
I'm not going to lie. It was nice. It was nice to see him back. I think it is starting to get to the point that it's like, it's like a Michael Jackson thing. He's the king of pop, but he also might have did some of this really creepy shit. But he's the king of pop, where it's like, Hogan's kind of a scumbag at times and says some shit he shouldn't be saying, but he is the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, and I have to bring this up because I just happened to be looking at Twitter when Hogan was speaking, and this tweet came up.
Nice,
and
way to go.
Oh, that's just about, so I'm like, Well,
you know what was interesting is Booker T was one of the guys backstage that said, like, when he did his apology, he was like, that don't mean nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And did you notice Booker T had the biggest smile on his face standing directly behind Hogan during that promo?
Yep.
That was funny. But I will say, anytime that song hits,
it's one of the iconic,
man. You get goosebumps. I've been lucky enough to see it a few times, and it was cool. And when I saw it at 30 in New Orleans, that was really cool. And the cool thing is, like, the end of that Raw reunion, you get these nice moments. Like, I remember because when I watched him, and then Flair him, and then when Austin comes out, which we'll talk about now, the crowd goes nuts.
Oh God, yes. You hear that glass and you go crazy.
Just nuts.
Now, am I missing anything? Was Kevin Owens not on the show at all?
No, they just played like a bunch of promos of him during commercials, advertising him for SmackDown.
What
when do we get the? By the way, when do we get a SmackDown reunion?
Not until they go on Fox. I've heard that Fox wants to do the exact same thing on the premiere show, and I think that's probably what they're going to plan to do. So, oh yeah, there you go. And Austin is a true babyface, just like he said in his speech. He just went out and was himself. But guess what? They let him do that.
Yeah.
They don't let Seth Rollins be himself.
Well, and the rumors is right now they're letting Kevin Owens do it, which is probably why he's just kicking ass right now.
Yeah.
But no, that was a special moment, though, having Austin out there on the mic. Like I said, when I was talking about WrestleMania 30, like, we knew that Hogan was the host. And I'm usually pretty good about, like, surprises when I'm there. I read everything online and talk to people. And I didn't realize him and Rock were there for that intro to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, like, Yeah, it's a crazy feeling when you're sitting there and all of a sudden that glass shatters and you're like there with 70,000 people just losing their minds.
Yeah.
And then like at that particular event at WrestleMania 30, like both of those pops were huge, but The Rock was like the super wild card because no one thought he was going to be there.
Yeah.
So when that hit, when the if you smell like I was screaming like a little girl. I was like, "Oh my god, the Rock's there! Oh my god!" Like it was nuts. It was super crazy. So like that's why it was cool to see those moments, which I loved. Obviously, again talking about Jerry Briscoe, I love that he got his way over to Austin to cheers him.
Yeah, it was awesome. Beautiful.
And, because it's funny. I talked to Wes and he's like, dude, and even Jerry, when I've been around him before, I've heard him talk stories and stuff, and it's just like this man has lived a life.
Oh yeah. Well, shoot, man, he's been involved in professional wrestling for how many years, and
Right.
he still is.
Yeah, part of one of the greatest tag teams ever.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's take a little quick short break. It won't be very long. It's just going to be me running this thing so I can take my mask off a minute and have a drink. Ah! All right. See, that didn't take very long.
Amazing.
Didn't take very long, did it? Yeah.
By the way, I'm very impressed with your parts unknown sign.
Well, thank you very much.
I didn't know there were 3 exits. That's crazy.
Okay, it's 3. It's because you're kind of guessing a little bit. It's like, well, parts unknown could be there or there or there. You kind of really don't know because it's unknown.
True. Very true.
Yeah. I got to tell you, we did get our first photograph from a fan that they sent of me. I'll just pop that up for you here quick because it's kind of fun. And there I am walking across the street.
Getting some groceries, probably.
Probably. You know how it is. Us masked gorillas got to eat. But anyway.
Getting some Jack's Links.
Oh, gosh, yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need in life. All right. So coming up this week for you, you got a fantastic weekend planned down in Waterloo, Iowa, at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And holy cow, what a lineup of people! It's so big. I had to try to make it so we could show who all's going to be there. I had to do it in a couple of different chunks.
Oh, that's so awesome that you did that. Oh, they're going to love that you did that.
So you got Jim Ross, obviously the dean of announcers in my mind.
Just, yeah, amazing.
You got good old Sheamus, who, as much as I tried a couple of years ago to make him the new Red Rooster, it never stuck. God darn it.
Well, you know what's interesting about this weekend, real quick, is the very first year I went, I don't think there was really any WWE people there, really. Like, I think the guy who runs like their like storage warehouse of all the stuff they keep, like he was there. He has a title, I don't remember what it is.
Storage keeper.
Yeah, sure. But after that, like all of a sudden, like because of him, Jerry, and some other people, WWE started sending people now, like one or two talents. So like Big E was there one year. Last year, the Revival was there, and this year, Sheamus and Natalya, which I think Natalia's there strictly to induct Beth Phoenix. So I think that was more personal than WWE sending her, though.
Gotcha.
But then they're sending Sheamus as well.
Yeah. And Sergeant Slaughter. Say, look at how many of these people were on the show tonight.
Right.
And Jim Ross got invited and declined.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard this, but apparently AEW said you can go if you want to.
Yeah.
Which I think is very cool. Sergeant Slaughter, there he is, your buddy Jerry, and his son Wes, your pal.
Oh boy.
It's so Jerry. So how does this work? Is Jerry going in? Jerry's already in, isn't he?
Yeah, he's already in. He's on like the board for the Hall of Fame and the museum, because Jerry's very heavily involved as well in amateur wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Which this the National Wrestling Hall of Fame is the Dan Gable Hall of Fame Museum. Yeah. It's an amateur or Greco-Roman wrestling, but they have a professional wing. And then every year they do the George Traguse Luthez Hall of Fame induction weekend.
Gotcha.
So that's what this is. So he's very involved there, but yeah, he's already in it. He's one of the guys that like will speak at the banquet for the actual Hall of Fame ceremony. Like he's kind of like the big name that represents this weekend to the wrestling world.
Gotcha. All right. And then we've got Ultimo Dragon,
which I've never seen Ultimo Dragon live, and I'm excited to see him in the ring.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. Brian Pillman Jr.
Yes.
And Lisa Marie.
Victoria.
Yes. I always had such a crush on her.
Oh, she's beautiful. I've seen her in person. She's beautiful. Hopefully I'll get to get a picture with her.
Take a picture but make sure that you put your head in a position so I can Photoshop my own face on it. All right. And then next on the list, as you mentioned, Beth Phoenix.
Which, by the way, first woman ever to be inducted into this actual Hall of Fame.
That's fantastic. Nick Dinsmore, he lives pretty close around here, doesn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Isn't he in Sioux Falls or somewhere in South Dakota?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. And he's awesome. He's come a few times to this weekend. Always a pleasure to have him out there.
Thunderbolt Patterson.
Yeah.
That's old school. Good old J.J. Dillon, who, my gosh, what a life that guy's led to, huh?
Right. Amazing.
Tony Gurria. Now there's another really old school dude.
Yeah. With this weekend, it's everybody you can think of, man. It goes way old school to new school.
James Beard, who I'm not really familiar with.
Legendary Hall of Fame or legendary referee. Sorry.
Oh, referee.
I believe.
Brian Shields, again, somebody that I'm not familiar with. And you aren't either.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
But he's on there.
The name sounds familiar. I just don't know from what.
Well, I always think Brooke Shields. Anyway, B. Brian Blair, one of the Killer Bees.
Yes, sir. Yeah, who's also in charge of the Cauliflower Alley Club. And they kind of work together, like these two organizations.
Very nice. And of course, last but not least, good old Baron von Raschke. You ever met the Baron?
Many times. A very, very nice man.
God, he was in the main event at the very first live wrestling match I went to.
Really?
He was. It was Baron von Raschke against Haystacks Calhoun.
Wow.
In Des Moines, Iowa.
Nuts.
Dude, well, that's how old I am. And I got to tell you, my aunt took my sister and I. My grandmother was at the time working in the X-ray department at the Des Moines General Hospital. So anytime anybody had anything go wrong in any kind of sports, that was the only place that was open 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So we'd get the wrestlers stuff. We'd get hockey players. There was a semi-pro hockey team down there and a AAA baseball team. All of that was, fantastic to me. But the wrestlers, holy crap. And my aunt went and got us pictures of the Stomper.
Okay.
Who you probably don't know. This was it was Central States was down there. The Stomper, the Viking who used the thumb. Who else? And of course Haystack Calhoun. But that was back when Haystack was, oh my gosh, he was a good guy, and Baron was a bad guy, and holy cow, and he kept getting him in the claw. And I remember yelling from the second story, smack his hand on the turnbuckle. and guess what he did? He smacked his claw hand on the turnbuckle. And it was at that very moment that I could never not be a wrestling fan.
Right.
Because in my mind, Haystack Calhoun heard me.
Right.
And he listened to what I told him, and he did it, and it worked.
That's so crazy.
Unfortunately, what then happened was the Baron got a hold of Haystack's gigantic horseshoe on a chain that he wore as a good luck charm. And of course, back then you couldn't wear anything. So it was hanging around the ring post, and the Baron, you got blood. And then Haystack was just getting, pummeled, and they're ringing the hell out of the bell. And it's like, I was so disappointed. Yet I was so fulfilled.
Right.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that's amazing that you have that memory. Like, all I remember from the first live wrestling show I ever went to, because it was AWA, probably early 90s here in Rochester. And I think the big one was Sergeant Slaughter, and maybe Yokozuna at the time before WWF. It was like a big guy like that, if not him.
Yeah.
And then the one that always stood out for me, I will always remember, just because I remember him cutting a heel promo. And this is probably even when I was first starting to get into WWE, and he was at the show, and I was just like, I like it. And what stood out to me was Larry Land. Larry Zbyszko, man. He hooked me, dude.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about more shows that we've been to. I have not been to nearly as many as you have. But
but you were to some classics back in the day. You've seen people I wish I was able to see live.
Dude, I saw up at the Metropolitan Stadium. I saw Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Orndorff and Bob Orton.
Nice.
And Orton and Orndorff were laughing the entire time. I think they were probably tanked, but I mean, I don't know. But we had like fourth row seats, and it was fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Just like Raw Reunion was amazing.
Absolutely. Oh, final thoughts on Raw from UB Stinky.
Hey, there you go. Jerry just retweeted me from tonight.
Oh, he did?
There you go. What a guy.
Perfect. Jerry is a good dude. All right.
Yeah, that's true. No stunner. What the shit?
That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be KO and Austin giving somebody a double stunner.
Oh, that would have been beautiful. That would have been such a great moment, and it would just been a great moment for Owens, that would have been on. But again, I like how they ended it. I like that everybody was down there. All the people who came for tonight were down there and cheers. I liked that.
I agree 100%. All right, my friend. Well, I think that'll about do it for tonight. Stinky, thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I think everything considered, we will be going live again next week around 10 after 9, 9:15, something like that, after SmackDown gets done. And we'll talk about the week and what happened, and we might do a list again. So on behalf of myself and good old Big Ace, thank you so much for paying attention to the Masked Comedian Xcast.
See ya.